Burr. That's all I have to say. Hello, friends. Welcome to the studio. I'm Mike McFarland, the Lake Fork guide, owner of McFarland Fishing, as you know. And I'm in my studio, and my studio is 74 degrees. But the walk from my studio to my house, which isn't very much, maybe 20 feet, it's so cold outside that I just figured I would leave all this on here kind of to lean in on how cold we really are. So welcome to the studio. It's going to be a public rundown, free public rundown for you. And the first thing I'll start you out with is that, look, I'm a big guy, but I'm not a big bear. When it gets this cold, I hibernate like one. This is cold. We have set records, temperatures, 12 degrees, 10 degrees. My pond, probably the first 4 feet of shoreline, is frozen all the way around. The shallow end is frozen over the top. It's amazing what we can go from one extreme of 80, almost 80 degrees, and the lake being at 60 already, all the way back down to way below what I have here. This icy shoreline is on Lake Fork right now. We're under a 50-plus hour freeze, and we're only about 30-something hours in. We got another good 20 more hours at least, almost 20 before we come out of this freeze. With that being said, guys, look, I don't have good news to tell you about Fork. I don't have a special bait or a bite to tell you to go pursue. If you're going to fish Fork, if you're here, you got no choices because you made a vacation. You know, number one, that is the way that it is. Unfortunate. I'm sorry if you're stuck here through this bad weather and having to fish. And I know some of you have come down from other places, not other countries, but other states. And in the past years, I've had other people come from other countries. I had someone come from Japan and have bad weather. Look at it this way. If you'd been here 2 weeks ago, you would have hit the warm trend week, and you would have been telling all your friends that, man, I'll go back to that magical place. Next week, it takes a bit to come back. We're going to freeze all the way again through Friday noon. Saturday is not a whole lot better. Sunday starts to recover. It's going to take Monday, Tuesday, good warm trending next week. By Wednesday of next week, fishing really be picking back up again. March is right around the corner. These fish are going to spawn, and it happens fast. This is not like some northern lakes or even in the western lakes where if you had a cold snap like this, boy, it might be 2 or 3 weeks or more to recover. Lake Fork can recover in less than 5 days of a really good warm trend. So let's tell you a few things, though. They have had a gate open. They have been dropping. Makes things even tougher when it's this cold. There's several things that does. You know, dropping water pulls fish out. They don't want to go up to the banks. Well, they're not going to anyways. As cold as it's been, icy shorelines, they're not going to sit on the banks. I told you last week or so when the warm trend was hitting and whatnot, I was watching bass on the banks in my pond. There's no way they're on the banks of my pond right now. It's frozen. The clarity, though, is changing dramatically. We had some good 2-foot visibility. I was in Dale Pond, had some great visibility. It's probably gone now. That was with the lake raise. It rose so much over pool. I went to actually like 403 to almost 31, I think. So a good 4 inches over pool. Last week we had gates open. Well, that pulls that mud out of those backwaters. It pulls that dirty water out of that drains, all those drains that flooded the lakes that got dirty, got pulled with an open gate into the lake. So you see a little bit more of those mouths. But this is what I would do. Okay, number one, if you're going to fish, you're stuck here. That's what I'm trying to give you something to do. Is get you a jig, get you a finesse jig. Fish some of the cleaner water if you can. When you're going back halfway into something, pocket, cove, creek, or whatever, fish that line where that dirty, dirty water changes, starts to change. You're kind of up against the wall, or go deep. The other aspect, and I'd be with a black and blue jig, I would also go finesse size. I would not be big. Like, this is a very small, even jig, okay? Straight, do nothing type trailers. Just helping here publicly. There's nothing through the weekend that's going to warm trend at all or anything. The other would be just to go down in the mid-lake south, be in the mouths of creeks and coves, and jerk bait with live scope and the minnow. And, this is really cool minnow right here, which to me means so much more than anything. I can't keep that tail from moving. And this is an actual invention of Mr. Mark Pack over 25 years ago. It's amazing how the man already knew 25 years ago where those offshore fish were, was already fishing for them, was already innovative enough to create baits to target those fish without even the live scope in sight for 20-something years, to come. So Mark Peck invented this segmented tail. We know it with a live magic shad, etc., etc. Well, there is one with a little pin tail. I can't remember what they call this right now. And remember this, Lake Fork Lures, Lake Fork Trophy Lures is now Lake Fork Lures, a lure company, Lake Fork Lure Company. So the name is rebranded a little bit, and some names of the baits have, but this little minnow right here, I can't look at that thing wagging on me, swagging on me. That's what you want with that live scoping minnow presentation. Something that really falls right, has a lot of lifelike on it. When the fish even start to follow it some, even the motions in the water of the fish will make this tail react and move. This thing looks so real. That's why it was called live shad. Live shad. It's alive. So try that live scoping at the mouth, where again you don't have that dirty water. Other than that, guys, I just don't have really anything good to tell you for the rest of this week and this weekend. Not publicly anyways. There is some great information that I provide in the members only channel for other lakes. Most of the other lakes are stung and cold just the same. There is a couple of lakes, number one, that have a specific amount of vegetation and a type of vegetation, and there's a couple other lakes, let's leave it at that, that are actually fishing really well. And some of you are smart enough to make some decisions on that. One of those lakes, I'm sorry, two of those lakes, there's three lakes. There's even fish on beds spawning. So if you want to know more details, and I don't have a lot this week. Normally I give all kinds of information. Again, with about 6 or 7 other lakes from 5 other guides. We cover Lake Tawakoni, we cover Hubbard, O.H. Ivy, Possum Kingdom, Lavon, Bodark, Athens, Welsh, Gilmer, Hawkins. I mean, we really get into giving you some good information. If you want that information, especially as the year progresses here, look in the description below this video, click on members only, and come join us. All right. Hope to have a much better report, warm trending week next week. So by Tuesday or Wednesday next week, be looking for a little better information and get us dialed back in on how to catch these beautiful Lake Fork bass. The spawn is right around the corner, even though it's freezing. Don't let it get you down. All right. Thanks for watching. Hit the like button, comment below. Come fish with us. Let me show you some really cool fishing this March, April, May. A lot of big fish are going to be caught. Take care. God bless.